What's up, guys? We're here at the NFS manufacturing facility, and if you take supplements or you're thinking about taking supplements, don't you think it's important to actually know how they're made, where their ingredients are sourced from, whether the manufacturing facility that's actually creating your supplements is up to par or above par? Well, today we're going to show you exactly why we're above the standards of the industry and why your products can be guaranteed to be the cleanest on the market. So I'm here with Adolfo, the head of the manufacturing facility, and I just got to ask you, tell us a little bit about why this manufacturing facility is so great and why do we produce some of the best supplements in the world?
Okay, well, thank you. Really, what separates our company from other supplement manufacturers is that we really focused on our quality systems. Everything is built around the quality systems. The manufacturing downstream, the employees we hire, everything has to fit within the model that we initially had this vision of putting together, which is a company that is 100% compliant with the cGMPs, which are the quality good manufacturing practices that the FDA dictates. And really, having these systems in place allows us to really manufacture some of the highest quality supplements with very little, if no error rates, really good, consistent products that meet all quality standards.
Love that. And so certifications is really big in the industry, right? cGMP, FDA, NSF. I mean, there's all these certifications that are thrown out there. What do they really mean? Like, what's the important one? And what do we have here?
The first thing that we really focus on is making sure that we meet FDA guidances. So the FDA really has oversight over our manufacturing facility. They have inspected us. They have made sure that we meet all the criteria. That's the critical one, the most important one. And they're the ones that publish the current good manufacturing practices guidance.
Got it.
And by current, we mean really that it changes constantly. This is not a place where we develop a system and then let it go for years without a change.
Right.
It's something that's continually improving. Every day, every month, we really change the systems to make sure we stay in tune with the state of the art in the technology. That's really the first criteria. The second certification is the NSF for certification. Now, the NSF has come in here, they have audited our systems, and some people say actually more stringent than the FDA requirements, and have given the blessing that really we exceed the requirements for their qualifications.
Huge, love that. So at the end of the day, we have outside FDA, NSF constantly monitoring exactly what we're doing across the board, from the sourcing all the way down to the nitty-gritty of actually producing those products. So tell us a little bit about our capabilities and what makes it so special and what we do here.
So our facility here is dedicated to manufacturing tablets, capsules, and powdered drink mixes. And what makes it so special is really that we've invested so much time and energy into getting certifications. The FDA regulates our industry very tightly. We meet all those requirements, and we also have certifications from NSF.
So now we're in the Analytical Laboratory. Tell us a little bit about exactly what happens here and what we do once that product is finished.
Sure. So the product, after it's gone through the manufacturing process that we reviewed, it comes here and it gets tested to make sure we meet the specifications that have been set in the product initially. We also make sure that each dose has the right amount of active ingredient, whether it's a supplement, whether it's a vitamin, make sure that it contains exactly what the label tells you it contains.
Accuracy, consistency, knowing exactly what's on the label is actually in the bottle is one of the misguided principles in the supplement industry. And here is where we make sure that that is 100% accurate. So here I have a finished product, and we have a lot number in the bottom. So lot 18248. What does this mean? What's the importance of that?
So really what the lot number tells us, what lot number is a signature or a fingerprint of the product of this specific lot. And we can determine everything about this product from this number. Because as we've been talking about earlier, we talked about quality systems being so important. These quality systems One of the tenets of these quality systems is that if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. So each lot number really refers to a series of documents that contain every bit of information there is to know about this product. We know from this lot number, 18248, I can tell you what lot numbers of ingredients went in here, when they were blended, when they were received, when they were released. I can even tell you what temperature the room was that we manufactured these in from this number. What we're looking at here is an HPLC. It's called the High Performance Liquid Chromatography instrument, and it's a very sensitive instrument. It allows us to determine in very exact detail how much of an ingredient there is in our formulations. So for example, if we have a caffeine tablet, this will tell us exactly how many milligrams per tablet we have of that caffeine. And that allows us to control the quality of the product and make sure that all the product that we manufacture here meets the very exacting quality standards.
So let's talk a little bit about ingredients and sourcing those ingredients. 100% honesty, you can get ingredients right now from anywhere. You can go to Alibaba and order ingredients from China and put together a bunch of ingredients in your garage. But that's not what we do here. And so walk us through the process of how we source ingredients, how we test those ingredients, and why the purity of those ingredients we know for a fact are at the highest level.
Sure. I mean, what you say is absolutely true. I could go anywhere in the country, in the world, and purchase any ingredient from my living room. And the problem is you don't really know what kind of quality you're getting. Here, what we do is really focus on the quality of the incoming raw materials. And that means that we go out there and we qualify all our vendors. There's not a vendor that we use that has not been visited, audited, and talked to about their quality systems. We have people from here that have been all over the world visiting vendors. And really what happens is we give the vendors very exacting quality standards to meet. They'll send us the raw materials and we go through the process. Every lot of raw material gets tested and we ensure that it meets those same exacting quality standards and that they don't change over time.
What do these machines actually do? So we get some raw ingredients, they come in here, what's next?
So one of the things that we do here, and we use many different types of equipment for it, but we verify the identity. We need to make sure that the actual product that comes in is exactly what we ordered, that it's not a counterfeit, that it's not lower potency, that it's exactly what we asked for. That's one. The second is cleanliness. We have to make sure that all the product that comes in meets cleanliness requirements. And by cleanliness, I'm really talking about bacterial growth, E. coli, Pseudomonas, all the bad guys that we're all familiar with. So we make sure that none of that is here present. What we have here, for example, is a TLC visualizer, and this allows us to identify the ingredients that come in and very specifically. If, for example, we're using an herb in a formulation, we'll tell the vendor what part of that herb we need, whether it's the leaf, whether it's the flower, or the bark. And the material comes in and we test it and make sure that it's exactly that product that they're sending us. So it's having this relationship with our vendors that's very open and direct allows us to control the quality of the products coming in. We're in the Microbiology Lab, and one of the most important things in the process is the incoming raw material. And all the raw material that comes into this facility gets tested for quality, specifically to make sure that it meets cleanliness guidelines and doesn't have any bacteria that can adversely affect the human body. So what they're doing right now is testing the incoming raw materials for bad things like E. coli and Salmonella and Pseudomonas, and make sure that they're clean. If we get any kind of positive hit on any of these organisms, we reject the raw material and it does not come into our facility. Similarly, the finished product gets tested as well to make sure that it has not been contaminated throughout the process. Again, we tested for Salmonella, for E. coli, and for Pseudomonas, as well as yeast and molds. With all these systems in place, we can make sure that all the product that comes into the facility and leaves the facility is clean.
So let's talk about formulations. You come up with this great formula of exactly what we're going to create, which product we're going to create, and how it's going to help you perform all these great stuff. But at the end of the day, when it's actually put in the process and it's actually running through that line of manufacturing, there's a lot of things that have to go into it. So tell us a little bit about in-process testing and how we make sure that, we match up with exactly what that formula is stated to be, but what that label claim also comes back.
Sure. So basically in the formulation process, we take that formula and we make sure we design the system to deliver the appropriate ingredients very consistently in the finished product. And to do that, we not only formulate the ingredients into the product, but we also design the process so that it's reproducible and it meets quality standards, and it consistently manufactures the product to meet the specifications. What we do then is really maintain control of the process by doing in-process testing. And what in-process testing allows us to do is to monitor the process while it's ongoing, so that we can be very proactive. If there's ever a problem, we can catch it before it affects the quality of the product.
Awesome. And so now the product is running in line. Before that product starts, is there any type of assurance that, hey, let's make sure that this batch that's about to run is exactly the same as the last one, right? Or the one that was produced 6 months ago?
Sure, absolutely. What we do is we run pilot batches, which is the initial run of a product for every formulation that we do, so that we can ensure that the process has been designed appropriately. Now, there are products where we actually run pilot batches for every single run that we do. Those are products that use specifically natural flavors, drink mixes, for example, where the flavor is very critical to the quality of the product. So we will actually take that lot of raw materials and manufacture a small pilot batch to ensure that it's going to meet the proper organoleptic qualities that are desired. What I mean by that is really that it tastes right, that it's the right color, that there's nothing aberrant about the formulation.
And is that industry standard, or?
No, absolutely not. That's one of the things that really separates us from other manufacturers, is that typically a manufacturer will manufacture one pilot batch and that's it. They just go through manufacturing. We actually do it for each one.
So beautiful. The importance of actually not only creating a beautiful formula, but making sure that every single time that formula is running on the line, it's being tested, that pilot is telling you exactly what's inside that product, and that finished goods is a 100% accurate, tested, every single ingredient down from the source all the way to the finished product, matching up with what says on that label. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.